Hello, it's Mr. Chris. For today's assignment, we're going to read Monster in the Barn. And I'm going to bring up the passage. I'm going to read it out loud, and you can follow along. You can also mute the button if you want to read it yourself. And I've also provided the passages inside the Google Slides that I sent out, so you can read it again. And then after I read it, I'm going to ask some questions, and then we'll answer together. I'm going to write out the answer, and I want you to also write the answer. And then there's going to be the final question is you're going to have to come up with your own sentence, but we'll get to that. So let's get started. Let me bring up the passage. Bobby was preparing to go to bed one night when he heard a shrill screech come from the barn outside. What could be making such a loud noise so late in the evening? He had trouble falling asleep and tossed and turned all night, long dreaming about the noisy monster in the barn. When Bobby woke the next morning, he ran to the barn to discover what caused the loud noise the night prior. Bobby was baffled. He could not figure out what could make such a noise. That evening, after dinner, Bobby gathered his courage, grabbed a flashlight, and headed out to the barn. "Where are you going?" Bobby's father asked as Bobby made his way through the kitchen to the back door. "I'm going to find the monster in the barn that was making such a commotion last night," Bobby replied bravely. "If you're going to look for a monster, you might need some assistance," Bobby's dad responded as he walked with Bobby out to the barn. "What did this monster sound like?" Bobby's dad asked. "It was a screeching noise," Bobby said, "and it was coming from the barn. I know it." Bobby's dad began to chuckle as they approached the barn, and he took the flashlight from Bobby. Shining the flashlight up at the roof of the barn, Bobby and his dad saw a small brown owl in the rafters of the roof. "It was only a barn owl that you heard last night," Bobby's dad said. Okay, so that was a story about the monster in the barn. If you need to pause the video and grab your paper and pencil, this is the time to do it. I'm going to switch to my paper. Now for the questions. The noise Bobby heard the first night was it the barn owl flying? Was it a monster in the barn? Or was it the barn owl screeching? Now again, you can go to Google Slides. These questions are posted on there for you to read them. I'm going to say the barn owl, the noise Bobby heard the first night was the barn owl was screeching. So the barn owl was screeching. Period. Okay, let's look at a few things before we go to the next question. If you look, Mr. Chris has nice word spacing. All my letters and words are on the line. We don't have any floating or letters going below the line. So we're not seeing anything like this. We don't want that. Absolutely not. I'm going to erase that so it's not on our paper. All right, the next question. The word baffled means, does it mean scared, shy, or confused? I'm going to say the word baffled means confused. So we're going to write the word. And remember, you're writing these answers down as well. The word baffled means you know what? There we go. It's a little difficult writing on the tablet. So I want your words to be nicer than Mr. Chris's, since you're using an actual pencil and paper. All right, so remember, when you're writing, make sure you got that word space. Make sure you're writing on the line, no floaters. And we can actually make out the letters. We can actually see that this is the letter W. That's also important. You may be writing it down, but if we can't make it out, that's no use to us. Okay? The second question. This passage, the one we just read, is mostly about what? Was it about a father and son going hunting? Was it about hunting? Was it about dreaming of monsters? Or discovering the source of a strange sound? I'll give you a second to answer. So, father and son hunting, or dreaming of monsters, or discovering the source of a strange sound. It is discovering the source of a strange sound. Bobby heard a strange sound the night before, and then he was wondering what it was, and they went out to discover what that noise was, and it ended up being about an owl. So, this passage, so we're going to say discovering the source of a strange sound. So we'll write this passage. Again, you're going to write this too. This passage is about discovering the source of a strange sound. Okay. Again, I'm writing on a tablet, so I want your words and sentences to be nicer than Mr. Chris's. So spaces, writing on the line, and letter formation. We can make out each letter. I'm going to leave this up. So you can pause the video at any time to catch up or to be able to finish, or to have you having to redo it. And since I'm all out of room, I'm going to get a whole new page, but I'm going to leave it up just for a second for you. Almost done here. Question number 4. The first paragraph is mostly about what? Was it about Bobby's dad telling about the strange noise? Was it Bobby and his dad looking in the barn? Or was the first paragraph about Bobby hearing a strange noise? And again, you can reference the passage and also the question on the Google slide. All right, ready? I would say it's about Bobby hearing a strange noise. So we're just going to write that. Bobby hearing a strange noise at night. Bobby. Remember, you're going to write this. Bobby hearing a strange noise at night. Okay, period. All right. Again, good word spacing. On the line. Okay. And now for our final sentence. What eerie or strange noise have you heard at night? So for me, and this is my answer, and I want you to come up with your own answer, and you need to write your own sentence. But for me, I heard footsteps in a hallway, but nobody else was home. So here's my sentence. I heard footsteps in a hallway, but nobody else was home. Again, Mr. Chris is writing on a tablet, so it's just a little bit more difficult. So yours better be nicer than what I have. So I heard footsteps, but nobody else was home. I want you to come up with your own sentence. What eerie or strange noise have you heard at night? And I want you to write it down. Okay, that is it. If you need to reference the passage, it is in the Google slide. If you need to reference the questions, and also in the Google slide. And if you need to pause the video at any time for redoing or to have extra time to complete your sentence, please do. All right, until next time, bye.